Welcome to today's CrossPoint devotion. Again, we're getting very close to Valentine's, and I want to remind the guys in particular, you just have a few days left. If you have not done what you need to do to get ready for Valentine's and have your girlfriend or your wife a nice gift or a card, you might want to start doing that today. The reason I want to talk a little bit more about this concept of Valentine's is I find that a lot of us, especially as guys, we tend to say a lot about how much we love our girlfriend or how much we love our wife, but I'm not sure that our words always match up with our deeds. And this is always a problem. Jesus himself told a parable one time about a father who went to his two sons, and he said to one son, "Would you go out and do some work for me?" And that son immediately verbally said, "I'd be happy to go out and do that for you." But then Jesus in the parable said that the first son who was approached didn't go out and do anything. Then the father went to the second son and he said, "I don't want to do that, and I don't plan to do that." And then sometime later, that second son actually went out and did what his father had requested. Jesus then asked this important question at the end of that parable: which of the two sons actually showed love for his father? And of course it was the second one, because the first one said all the right things but didn't do anything about it. The second one didn't say up front he wanted to do it. He even said he didn't want to do it, but then he ended up doing it after the fact, and that showed that he loved his father. And that's what I want to kind of remind you of, that sometimes we say a lot about loving people and we care about people and we verbalize it, but we don't put actions to it. And that brings us to the one verse that I want to talk about for just a moment from 1 John chapter 3. And it's 1 John chapter 3 verse 18. Let me read that verse for you. "Little children, let us not love in word or speech." That's what we're often guilty of doing. We tell people, "Yes, I love you. Yes, I will do that because I care about you. Yes, I'm willing to help you do whatever." We say it in word and in our speech, but we don't follow through in our deeds. And that's what John's going to address in the next part of the verse. So let's go back to 1 John chapter 3 verse 18. And here's what he says as we read it again. "Little children, let us not love in word or speech, but in action and truth." Two ways that we can show someone that we love them is the way we respond by our actions. So it takes more than just saying to someone, "I love you." It's actually doing something to help them when they're in a time of need. I think that's why Jesus often would talk about when you've gone out and helped that person who didn't have anything to drink and you give them a cup of water and you've done it in my name, you've not only done it for them, but you've also done it for me. And that's showing that you really love them because you really love me. When you go out and do those kind of things, like visiting those who are in prison, and you care for them and take care of them with your actions, Jesus said you're actually showing love to me because you're loving them in my name, and that is a reflection of loving me. That's what John's talking about. Sometimes we're so good at saying the right words, but we're not following through with the right deeds. And so John says if you really want to show someone that you love them, you do the right deeds. But in addition, he says something else. You also tell the truth to those that you love. Now, this is going to get kind of personal, but do you have a wife or a girlfriend, if you're a guy, and you've been lying to them? Then you really don't love them. Because listen to what John says. Again, I want to read 1 John chapter 4, verse 18. "Little children, let us not love in words or speech, but in actions and in truth." We're going to tell the truth and we're going to live in the truth. And when we tell the truth and we live in the truth with those that we say we love, we're actually showing them we do love them. We genuinely care about them. So as we move toward Valentine's, don't just be guilty of being that guy or that girl who just says, "Yeah, I love you," but your words and your actions don't match up, and your words and your truth don't match up. John said if you really want to be a follower of Jesus, your actions and your truth are going to line up with your words, and they're all going to reflect love because, again, you're trying to follow the example of Jesus. Well, I hope that'll challenge you, and I hope it'll encourage you. and we hope you'll come back and join us for the next CrossPoint event.